If my son had to knock this bucket off his sister's head with this rock without smoking her in the face, let me show you one of my favorite exercises for how to improve a kid's throwing accuracy. This is something I actually learned the hard way throwing BP to my oldest son 6-7 years ago, where I was god-awful at throwing batting practice to him. I couldn't hit his strike zone to save my life. And then one day, I ended up buying him a set of what are called hitting plyo balls. They're basically plastic-filled balls with different amounts of sand or grainy stuff in them, right? So some were lighter than baseballs, others were heavier, and I originally got them because they help players learn what it's like to hit something heavy and extend and explode through contact. But what I didn't expect was how bad I would be at throwing them to him with his batting practice. The heavy ones would sail high on arm side, and then I'd spike the light ones straight into the ground. But here's what happened over time. When I started randomly mixing up the weights on every throw, my body auto-adjusted, where instead of doming up and thinking about one way to throw, it figured out how to move so that no matter what weight was in my hand, I could hit the target every time. And therefore, my accuracy went way up, and now I throw amazing batting practice. So obviously, I started adding that variability into all of my kids' throwing drills, and their accuracy skyrocketed too. But that's when it hit me. If variability could make me that much more accurate as a thrower, why wouldn't I use that same principle to improve barrel accuracy while we train kids to hit for power? Because everyone always says, oh, you shouldn't train for power. You'll just swing and miss too much. Your swing will get long. But it turns out that's not true when you train it the right way. So we do this using something that we call chaos rounds. And in a chaos round, every few swings, our hitters will switch bats. They'll go from long ones to short ones to heavy ones to light ones, one with fat grips, skinny grips. And it really challenges their swing and feels totally chaotic. But that's the point, because the hitter who can find barrel through that kind of chaos can end up finding it in the game. And the research backs this up too. Researchers like Schmidt and Wolf call it contextual interference, because when you constantly change the task, your brain ends up building a more adaptable movement pattern. And therefore, instead of training for one perfect swing that only works in practice, we build swings that hold up in games when timing and pitch type and pressure are all changing. And that's how my son and daughter both hit for serious power while having some pretty decent batting averages. This is not about power or contact, it's about power and contact quality. So if you've ever worried that training for power might ruin your hitter's contact quality, then try running something like this chaos round next time you hit. And if you'd like a list of the bats that we have found are really good for this type of thing, drop the word bats in the comments and I'll DM that list to you. And of course, if you want me to personally look at your athlete's swing and point out anything that's holding them back from a power production standpoint or a contact quality standpoint, drop a comment with the word help below and I'm happy to take a look at their swing.